There was a foul. It should not have been upgraded to a flagrant foul. It was a foul. And I really think if you truly respect women's basketball, let them play, sort of like guys. Many of the media themselves who consider themselves WNBA friendly are too often patronizing and pandering. Rivalries equal ratings. Sports is better with intensity. Animosity is part of it. It was a physical.
Now, I heard a lot of people say that I or others have made Angel Reese the villain. Did you not just hear herself call herself the bad guy? She called herself the villain. I'm not making her the villain. She's making herself the villain. And guess who her eyes are on at all times? Caitlin Clark.
The WNBA is on fire, but not everyone's feeling the heat the same way. Caitlin Clark just dropped 30-foot daggers like it's nothing, packed out arenas that haven't seen sellouts in years, and single-handedly crashed merch sites with jersey demand. ESPN can't stop saying her name. But here's the smoke nobody wants to admit. Not everyone's cheering for her success. And some players? They're giving real side-eye energy. While fans are screaming, Caitlin Clark is the WNBA now, others are asking, at what cost? Because this ain't just about buckets and ratings. This is about power, attention, and who gets to be the face of a league that's been fighting for relevance long before Clark even laced up in Indiana. Watch that clip again. Angel Reese walks right past Clark. No dap, no eye contact, just straight you don't exist vibes. Petty? Maybe. But personal? Absolutely. Online, it's a war zone. One tweet reads, Caitlin's media coverage is insane. She's already bigger than the league. Another claps back. Funny how y'all ignored the W for years. Until a white girl showed up. Zero lies detected. Because this moment, this rivalry, is deeper than basketball. It's race. It's class. It's who gets love for being confident. And who gets labeled too aggressive. It's Iowa's sweetheart versus LSU's villain. And somehow both are playing the same game, but only one gets crowned the hero. People aren't ready to hear this, but the WNBA isn't just being saved by Caitlin Clark. It's being split by her. And while she's rising like a comet, there's a growing storm behind her, full of players who built the W from the ground up and aren't about to be erased for a new narrative. So yeah, Caitlin's dominating. But is she uniting the league or lighting the match that's tearing it in two? You're gonna want to see what happens next. Let's get one thing very clear. Angel Reese did not come to the WNBA to play second fiddle. While the media rolls out a red carpet for Caitlin Clark, Reese has been over here taking elbows, getting booed, and still showing up with her signature I'm her energy. And the disrespect? It's loud. She's not just annoyed. She's watching every headline, every ESPN segment, every viral tweet that forgets she exists. And if you think she's going to stay quiet about it, you clearly haven't been paying attention since LSU. This isn't jealousy. This is justice. Because while Caitlin's getting called the savior of the league, Angel's getting fined for technicals, criticized for taunting, and labeled too emotional by the same sports world that loved it when Larry Bird talked trash. People forget, Angel Reese brought millions of new fans to women's basketball before Caitlin ever signed a W contract. And she did it her way, unapologetic, bold, and fully herself. But here's the twist nobody wants to say out loud. The league needs both of them, and it knows it. Reese brings the edge, the attitude, the drama that makes fans feel something. She's not trying to play nice, she's trying to win. And if that means calling out the media for their obvious favoritism, so be it. Because Angel's not just fighting for herself, she's fighting for every black woman who got called cocky, while someone else got called confident. So if you think this is just about a foul or a rivalry, nah, this is a movement. And Angel Reese? She's not backing down anytime soon. No whistle, no review, no explanation. Chennedy Carter checked Caitlin Clark so hard you could hear it echo through WNBA Twitter. A blindside hit that looked more like an NFL linebacker than a basketball play. And somehow the refs just let it slide. This wasn't just a hard foul. This was a statement, and fans caught it instantly. The clip exploded. ESPN slowed it down frame by frame. NBA players started tweeting. It wasn't even subtle. Chennedy didn't just foul Clark. She sent a message. And the league, crickets. 24 hours, there was no penalty, no flagrant, no accountability, just silence. And in that silence, a storm started brewing. Because if the WNBA is going to protect its stars, shouldn't that include the rookie who single-handedly tripled ratings? But here's the twist. Some fans were cheering the foul, saying Clark needed to be humbled, that she was getting too much love, that she was soft. Others saw it for what it was. A targeted, dangerous play designed to knock someone off her game, literally. And in that moment, the entire WNBA fan base split into two camps. Those who saw Caitlyn as the league's future, and those who saw her as a threat to everything it used to be. This wasn't just a foul, it was a flashpoint. Because behind that one hit is a way bigger question: who gets protected in the WNBA, and who gets punished for being great? Let's talk facts. If Caitlin Clark had thrown that elbow, it would have been a scandal. Think fines, think ejections, think press conferences on loop. But when Chennedy Carter does it to Caitlin, the silence is deafening. And that's the double standard that's been festering all season. Because somehow when Caitlin Clark gets fouled hard, it's welcome to the league. But when she responds with a stare or a step back three, suddenly she's too arrogant. Meanwhile, Angel Reese taunts and it's a headline. Caitlin taunts and it's competitive spirit. You see the pattern? The truth is, some of these WNBA veterans aren't just challenging Clark on the court, they're challenging her place in the league. And the league's reaction? It's been shaky at best. The WNBA wants the views Caitlin brings, the merch, sales, the packed arenas. But it also wants to stay loyal to its vets, players who've been grinding for years in half-empty gyms. And now it's walking a tightrope, trying to support the future while not offending the past. But you can't have it both ways. Either you protect your stars or you show your bias. And right now, that bias is showing like a bad call in slow-mo replay. This isn't just about fouls. It's about fairness. And every fan, rookie, and vet is watching how the league responds. Because if this is how the W treats its golden child, imagine how it treats everyone else. The moment that clip hit Twitter, it was chaos. One half of the internet was screaming, Caitlin Clark got humbled. The other half? That wasn't basketball, that was assault. Memes dropped immediately. Angel Reese side-eyeing Caitlin like it's a WWE promo. Edits of Chennedy Carter with the caption. She said, "Welcome to the WNBA," aggressively. Tweets like, "Y'all protect everyone but Caitlin Clark." It's giving pick-me energy. But the most viral take? Imagine if the roles were reversed. And that one hit different. Because it forced fans to stop and think, would Chennedy still be playing today if Caitlin had rocked her like that? Would the league still be silent? It exposed a cultural divide that's been simmering for months. Not just black versus white, but old guard versus new wave. Gritty vets versus viral superstars. Caitlin's got the cameras. Chennedy's got the chip on her shoulder. And Angel? She's standing front row with popcorn. The comment sections were a war zone. Reddit threads 300 replies deep. TikToks dissecting the foul like it was the Zapruder film. And through it all, the WNBA stayed silent for just a little too long. Long enough for the internet to take control of the narrative. This wasn't just a foul anymore, it was personal. It was political. It was primetime content. And the question that kept trending wasn't, was it a flagrant? It was, why does the league treat Caitlin Clark like this? Angel Reese didn't even throw the foul, but somehow she stole the entire moment. When the clip of Caitlin hitting the deck started making rounds, Angel didn't stay quiet. She amplified it. She liked tweets dragging Clark. She retweeted shade. And in classic Angel fashion, she knew exactly how to stir the pot without saying a word. This wasn't just pettiness. This was strategy. Because Angel Reese understands the game off the court just as well as she does on it. She's not just competing with Caitlin Clark. She's challenging her spotlight. And if Caitlin's getting all the love from ESPN, brands, and fans, Angel's gonna make sure she owns the drama. Call it petty. Call it calculated. But don't call it accidental. Angel is tapping into a media machine that finally cares about the W. And she's not about to let Caitlin Clark be the only one eating. That like on the tweet? That wasn't a mistake, that was a message. I see you, and I'm still here. Because while Caitlin Clark might be the headline, Angel Reese is making sure she stays the subtext. And in a league that barely gives its stars the mic, Angel's grabbing it with both hands and dropping a viral moment every chance she gets. Love her or hate her. She's keeping receipts. Let's stop pretending. If Chennedy Carter had been the one laying on the floor and Caitlin Clark had thrown that blindside bump, you already know what the headlines would have said. Clark shows toughness. Fiery. Rookie making her mark. Physical play. Part of the game. But because it was Caitlin on the receiving end, suddenly it's disrespectful. Too far. Bad for the league. The double standard isn't just real. It's screaming. Angel Reese gets labeled classless for taunting. Chennedy gets roasted for playing aggressive. But when Caitlin talks spicy or throws an elbow on a screen, silence or worse, applause. And look, this isn't about hating on Clark. She's a generational talent. But it is about calling out the way the WNBA, the media, and some fans only celebrate that fire when it comes in a certain package. A white one. That's the uncomfortable truth. The same moves, the same attitude, the same chip, they get red. differently depending on who does them. And the worst part? The league knows this. They lean into the Caitlyn hype because it's safe, it sells, and it doesn't challenge the narrative they've been too scared to touch. But here's the thing. The WNBA isn't built on safe. It's built on grit. On women who played through silence, through disrespect, through everything. So when fans say it's not about race, they're missing the point. It's always been about race, respect, and who gets to be the hero. And right now, the game's rigged. This isn't just Caitlyn Clark versus Angel Reese. This is Iowa versus LSU. White America versus Black Twitter. Corporate media darlings versus the players who had to build their platforms without help. What we're watching isn't just two rookies bumping heads. It's a culture war, playing out in layups, likes, and viral tweets. Caitlyn walks into the league with a $28 million Nike deal, a camera following her every move, and 20,000 fans in the stands. Angel walks in with a chip on her shoulder, a history of being called ghetto for celebrating and the pressure of proving she belongs. Again. And what makes this even crazier? They're both right where they should be. They're both stars. But the media keeps pitting them against each other, not just for ratings, but because it's easier to tell a rivalry story than to admit what's really going on. That the WNBA is changing. Fast. And not everyone's ready for it. This rivalry is forcing the league to confront everything it's been avoiding. Who it centers, who it sidelines, and what kind of fire it allows to shine. Because when Caitlyn and Angel step on the court, they're not just playing for wins, they're playing for legacy and whether the league likes it or not. The future of the WNBA is louder, prouder, and more unapologetic than ever. The WNBA wanted the spotlight. Well, now it's burning hot. The moment Caitlyn Clark entered the league, everything changed. TV ratings spiked, arena seats filled. Suddenly the mainstream was paying attention. But that spotlight, it doesn't just illuminate, then it exposes. And what it's revealing right now is messy. Double standards, racial bias, media favoritism, player resentment. It's all bubbling to the surface. And the league can't cover it with a slick promo reel or a Nike ad campaign, because fans are watching closely. They're dissecting every foul, every tweet, every post-game comment. And the message is loud. The WNBA can't keep playing it safe. You can't push diversity when your biggest marketing dollars only go to one face. You can't preach empowerment while ignoring how black players are treated when they play with the same edge. This isn't a Caitlyn Clark problem. It's not an Angel Reese problem. It's a WNBA identity crisis. And now the league has a choice. Evolve with the culture, or get left behind by it. Because what's happening right now, it's bigger than basketball. It's the kind of moment that defines what a league stands for. And the WNBA, it's officially out of excuses.